A lot of people are skeptical about Hyundai's claims to delivering a huge number of EVs this year, but so far, actually, it appears as though they aren't lying. Color me surprised. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Coming to you from Bangkok in Thailand. And what an amazing day. An amazing day when you see stuff like this. Not just this, but when you see what I just reported on in my other videos today, some of that news is just mind-blowing. Now, is this as exciting? Not quite as exciting, but I've got to say, it's amazing stuff because the Hyundai Ioniq 5, the Hyundai Ioniq 6, the new Hyundai Kona, the Kia EV6, they're all, I have to say, very, very good electric cars. Now, there's one big problem with them that a lot of owners have been discovering lately. Very surprising to see that issue, which I think could be solved by Hyundai, but they don't want to solve it because it's going to cost them money. Aside from that issue, I do reckon the cars are really good. I recommend them, and I would definitely consider one. Would I buy it? Well, that's a different story. If I'm in the US, definitely not, because the US tax incentive, the $7,500 US, I'd most likely qualify for it if I was a US citizen. So therefore, that would just be too much of an advantage for me on price to get a Hyundai or Kia electric car. But we don't all live in the United States. We don't all live in Canada. We don't all live in Mexico. We live all over the world. And Hyundai are ramping up supply of their electric cars this year. They say the new Kona will be their best-selling electric car. I believe them. The old Kona was, I don't know why, but I hated the old Kona. I didn't want to say it, but I thought it looked terrible, like a toy. I didn't like it at all. I don't know why. I just had a real negative feeling about it. The new one, I feel completely differently. The outside looks great. The inside looks great. It's much bigger. It's actually a practical size. It's got a bigger battery pack. Way better car. That's actually probably the Hyundai I would consider getting. When can we get them? Well, in a few months' time, apparently, Hyundai say. Hyundai also say that they are now taking EVs much more seriously. They're ramping up supply as their launch of the Ioniq 6 is about to hit the market in many countries worldwide. Now, you can already order one here in Australia. And previously, the big problem for Hyundai, for people who want to buy a Hyundai, is you've got to go into a lottery. You had to literally go into a lottery, try to jump on Hyundai's website and get a car by clicking really, really fast at the right time of day. It was ridiculous. I mean, most people missed out. People got sick of it. People eventually got sick of it about a month ago. So as a result, they had the latest lottery and no one actually went. And no one actually started clicking because everyone was like, no, that's a joke. And we're sick of this. So I looked a week later and there was heaps of cars available when in the past, that was never even remotely possible. They'd all sell out within about a minute. So this means two things. One, they've already started ramping up supply. Two, maybe not as many people, maybe those early adopters, maybe a lot of them are gone now from the market. And so maybe there isn't as much demand for Hyundai EVs, or maybe they're just simply ramping those supply numbers to unprecedented levels. If you look at Hyundai Sales, well, they've increased significantly so far this year. So that's a really promising sign. Korean car giant Hyundai has promised a massive increase in supply of electric vehicles to Australia and a number of other countries within the next 2 years as it launches the much anticipated Ioniq 6 electric sedan, the second of its EV-focused Ioniq range after the multi-award winning Ioniq 5 SUV. Now, there's a reason I don't think the Ioniq 6 is going to sell very well. It's a really good car, but I don't think it's going to sell very well. I'm going to talk about that in another video that I'll make very soon. Hyundai sold 756 Ioniq 5s in 2022 in Australia, more than 1,000 in total since it's been on sale here. But it says it aims to bring in around 3,000 Ioniq 5s and Ioniq 6s in 2023. In other words, it's going to increase supply in Australia by a factor of 4. 400% more cars this year, before it ramps that number up to around 6,000 in 2024. That's impressive. We're talking about an 800% increase in the space of only 2 years. That will actually include the Ioniq 5N, which is the performance version of the Ioniq 5. I would be a big fan of that car. In fact, I would seriously consider an Ioniq 5N. People have asked me why I haven't made a video about the Ioniq 5N. I'll tell you why I haven't made a video about it, because it does not exist. Why would I make a video about a car that doesn't exist? We have no performance figures. We have no official information from Hyundai. When we do, yes, my friends, I'll definitely make a video about that car. But until then, all we have is purely speculation. The extra supply means that Hyundai will drop its system of monthly online drops, so the lottery that I just talked about, and make cars available online permanently as they arrive in Australia, rather than opening the site at a particular time every month. People don't need to rush and make an order in a few minutes anymore. They can take their time. We're seeing the customer experience improve greatly, said Andrew Stamarkis, Hyundai's Senior Consumer Manager in Australia, saying it also allows people to make customized orders as well as pre-configured orders. Now, Andrew's being a bit generous here. The truth is the order system in Australia was a load of bollocks. It sucked. I mean, make your order in a couple of minutes if you could even get on the website if it didn't crash during that period of time when everyone was rushing on there to get it at once. It was absolutely horrendous. It's the worst idea I've ever seen in history. It should have been a first come, first served basis. Put your name down first, you get the car first. That's how it works for everyone else. That to me makes sense. I mean, basically people could have come along who've been waiting for 2 years, right? Not get their car. Someone else who figures out the car's on sale that day, jump on, and if they have better internet at their house or, I don't know, just get lucky, they could have got the car. It didn't make any sense. So it's good to see Hyundai move away from that. How are Hyundai going in the United States? And how are they going with their global sales? Well, Hyundai announced in January its global vehicle sales increased to 306,300, which is 8.4% more than 1 year ago. Plug-in electric car sales increased way faster than that though. Last month, the combined wholesale shipments of Hyundai and Genesis plug-in cars totaled 20,718. So that's still less than, say, a company like GAC Aon, which most people have never heard of. They're selling on average around about 25 to 30,000 electric cars per month, but it's a big improvement over the same month last year. And it's approximately 7% of Hyundai's volume. So Hyundai and Genesis, 7% of their car sales right now are electric. That's good, but they've clearly got a long way to go. However, growth in electric car sales are pretty staggering for the company. They've increased year on year by 162%. And purely electric cars, meaning not including plug-in hybrids, well, they represent 6% of Hyundai's global sales. So 6%, like I said, this is really good. I mean, it's great to see an increase of 162%. That's really good numbers. But really, you need an increase of 162% minimum for the next, 3-4 years in a row for Hyundai not to lose market share to Chinese automakers. The reason I say that, well, there's been numerous reports from global media within the last week saying that Chinese EV companies are sick of competing in China. They've finally woken up, started watching the Electric Viking YouTube channel, who has been recommending them that they should sell their EVs outside of China. Obviously, I'm completely joking. No one in China watches my channel because YouTube's blocked in China. Now, don't get me wrong, they use VPNs to watch YouTube, but I doubt they'd be watching me. But obviously, they've clearly woken up and finally realized that if they sell their EVs outside of China, they don't have to sell them at such ridiculously low prices, which they are in China, and they can start making a profit, or at least not making a loss. So the Chinese are planning on a full-scale assault. That's going to happen over the next few years. Hyundai will have to consider that. They have to say, well, what's going to happen when we're getting undercut by companies like MG, MG4? What have Hyundai got to compete against the MG4 in that price bracket? Currently, nothing. So they've got a bit of work to do. Now, interestingly, plug-in hybrid sales at Hyundai decreased. So car sales go up, EV sales go up by 162%, plug-in sales go down. Plug-in hybrid sales go down. Hydrogen fuel cell cars, well, they actually increased by 10% to 400. So I don't know who bought those, but yeah, whatever. Plug-in hybrids, 2,600 sales, down 37%. Fully electric cars, 18,106, up 162%. And to give you an idea of how this is representative in comparison to last year, Hyundai Motor Company sold more than 240,000 plug-in electric cars. That was an increase of 45% year over year, including nearly 195,000 all-electric cars. So around 200,000 EVs last year, which is an increase of 56%. Not really that many when you think about their total volume. 195,000 of more than 3 million, pretty small. But hey, this year, hopefully we're going to see that 161% increase for the whole year. And then they'll be selling a lot more electric cars globally. Now, put this into perspective. If you're a fan of Hyundai or Kia, a company, it's worth considering when I make my analysis on different companies that I consider this, what I'm about to tell you. 5% of all cars Hyundai sold last year, Hyundai and Genesis put together, 5% of them were electric. That's not very many. Hyundai's second biggest market in the world, in fact, no, their biggest car market in the world, period, is the United States. They don't have a car factory that makes EVs in the United States. Therefore, their cars won't qualify for incentives in the US for at least 18 months to 3 years, depending on how long it takes them to actually build EVs in the US. They have different timelines depending on who you talk to. Clearly, Hyundai Sales are going to be in for a tough time in the United States, in North America, probably in Canada as well, over the next couple of years, because that's the most important car market in the world. So which cars are actually selling so far this year? Hyundai has delivered 7,307 Ioniq 5s worldwide. Second bestseller, the Hyundai Kona, 5,688 deliveries worldwide. Third is the Hyundai Ioniq 6, 3,841 deliveries. Fourth is the Tucson plug-in hybrid, 2,073. And fifth is the Santa Fe plug-in hybrid with 539. Now here's hoping Hyundai and Genesis can start kicking some real serious goals this year. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Hyundai, Genesis, are they going to be a big player by 2030? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.